So again, welcome everyone to this webinar. So I'm going to tell you something about our school and the different programs that you may be interested in. Okay, so our school was established in 2001 and formally inception in 2002. Let me just move this aside. So basically over the years, right, we have grown from strength to strength, and currently we have around 50 international faculty members who are all active researchers. And their research can be categorized into 9 broad areas. Okay, these are the different areas of research excellence in our school. So the first one is biological data science. The second is cancer and cell biology, followed by genes, genetics, and genomics, microbiology and immunology, neuroscience, plant biology, proteomics and proteins, structural biology and drug discovery, and finally, traditional Chinese medicine. Now, on top of research, one of our core missions in the school is to teach and train undergraduates. So our curriculum and programs are designed and developed based on 4 core principles. So first is to transfer knowledge to students via the OBTL system or pedagogy, which is also known as the outcome-based teaching and learning pedagogy, in which each and every one of the courses has clear deliveries that are aligned to the teaching outcomes. Next, and very importantly, we impart skill sets to students that are relevant for future employment and further studies. Now, for this, we have a course that is very unique to our school, which is the UAEB, also known as the Undergrad Advanced Experimental Bio courses. So these are unique to our program, in which students will undertake a 1-week intensive laboratory-based course to advance their knowledge and to hone their technical skills. Now, students can also attach to the professor's lab as research experience, that is before their final year, or they can also embark on a final year project, which will usually last 3 months or more. Now, another thing that we provide students with are the plenty of opportunities to gain real-world experience. So this is in the form of internship, so in which students will be attached to industries and external organizations for 20 weeks or more duration. So this one, if you are coming for our open house, they can be all found in our school's brochure, all right? Now, together with the 3 health clusters in Singapore, recently we launched a work-study degree program. So this is something that I will talk about later on. And students can also participate in overseas exchange. Now, finally, the 4th cornerstone, right, of our curriculum is the interdisciplinary collaborative courses. So this is a compulsory courses for all NTU students. So this is to enhance the cognitive agility of students. So some of the courses that students will read include those of digital literacy, communication skills, science and technology for humanity. So these are just some examples. So with these 4 cornerstones in place, we prepare our students for professions in basically 3 major sectors: the healthcare, food security, and sustainability. Now let us look at the different programs in our school. Currently, we have a suite of many different programs for you to choose from, right? So this is based on your interests and career aspirations. So the single major program in biological sciences, right? So this is, again, the details can be found on our website, so I will not go into the details. So during the 1st and the 2nd year, students will read core courses. These include biochemistry, molecular cell biology, genetics, biostats, and so on and so forth, right? So with the firm foundation, students will then, in their 3rd and 4th year, read prescribed electives, which are advanced courses in biological sciences. Now, as mentioned earlier, right, we have recently launched the so-called work-study degree program in laboratory medicine, right? This is to meet the increasing demand for medical laboratory technologies in the healthcare sector in Singapore. As we all know, right, the hospitals are all expanding and there's a huge demand for MLTs. And again, I'll come to this later with more details. Now, increasingly, we also understand and recognize that Chinese medicine is a complementary medicine to Western medicine, especially in the areas of pain management and certain chronic diseases. Hence, we have a 4-year Chinese medicine program in which students will be equipped with biological sciences knowledge and foundation, but also trained in Chinese medicine. So students who graduated from this program will be certified practitioners by Ministry of Health. So this for this particular program, during our open house, which is next Saturday, there will be a specific talk on this. So I hope those who are interested, you can attend that particular talk. Now, let's look at the second majors. So these are analogous to specializations. In other words, on top of the primary major, students can specialize in different areas, right? So the medicinal chemistry and pharmacology second major. So this is in partnership with another school in NTU, which is the CCEB, or the Chemistry, Chemical Engineering and Biotechnology School. So students will be cross-trained in biology and chemistry. So for chemistry, students will read organic, physical, and inorganic chemistry, and with a strong emphasis on mechanisms, synthesis, and the pharmacological effects of drugs. The next second major is in biomedical structural biology. So as the name implies, this second major focuses on structure-based drug discovery and therapeutics. So students will learn different biophysical techniques and approaches, including X-ray crystallography, nuclear magnetic resonance, and cryo-electron microscopy, and how these various approaches can be applied to resolve and decipher the structure of macromolecules from which druggable targets can be identified. Now, the next one, the second major in future food, this will replace the existing food science and technology program, if you are aware of it. This program is currently undergoing refinement and revision and will be offered only in year 2. So I will not talk too much about this second major program at the moment. Now, the next second major is in data analytics. So this is in partnership with the School of Physical and Medical Sciences and the College of Engineering. So students will learn programming, algorithms, data mining, probability, statistics, and how they can apply this knowledge to uncover important biological networks in both basic and medical research. The next second major in sustainability, this is a relatively new program. So it incorporates relevant courses across all 4 colleges within NTU. So this includes courses from College of Science, College of Engineering, the Humanities and Social Sciences, and also the Nanyang Business School. So basically, these courses are important to provide students with knowledge and practical tools for understanding the concepts of sustainability, which is very important, especially in Singapore and in the near future, and how to apply them to real-world scenarios. Finally, okay, there's some problem with the slide here, but don't worry about that. Finally, the second major in entrepreneurship. So this is a program in partnership with the NTU Entrepreneurship Academy and the Nanyang Business School. So the main aim of this program is to equip students with fundamental entrepreneurship competency and broaden their understanding of enterprises and innovation. So students who are interested, for example, to start up your own company after your first degree. So this is something that you might be interested in. Okay, next we come to the double majors, right? So many people will ask, what's the difference between the second majors and the double majors? So basically, apart from the subject matter, the main difference is the course workload. So double majors are heavier in terms of the course workload, right? So the double major in biological sciences and psychology, so this is a program in partnership with the psychology division under the School of Social Sciences. So this is a very, very popular interdisciplinary program that prepares students for in-depth understanding of human behavior, brain biology, and also translational practices. Okay, next, the Biomedical Sciences and Biobusiness second major. So this is a collaborative program with the Nanyang Business School and the Copenhagen Business School in Denmark, right? So students in this program will be cross-trained in biomedical or biotechnology and business management that are relevant to the healthcare sector in Singapore and in Southeast Asia. Now, for both the double majors, that means biological sciences and psychology, and also biomedical sciences and biobusiness students who are admitted to any of these two programs are also eligible for the NTU Duke NUS graduate medicine pathway. Okay, so this I will touch upon in the last few slides. So in summary, right, we have many different courses or programs for you to choose from. So all our programs are 4-year programs, except there's one known as the accelerated program, which is 3.5 years, but I will not touch on that for now. So all students will graduate with honors, but of course, the honors classification will depend on the students fulfilling the necessary academic requirements at NTU. Okay, let's go to look at the curriculum, right? So do not worry about the numbers that I'm going to show you later, right? So on your left, you see 131 AU. What is AU? AU is the academic unit. So that is a reflection of the workload. The higher the AU, the heavier the workload, okay? So for the major in biological sciences, right? Okay, students will read core courses in biological sciences, and they will also have the chance to select so-called electives, which we are referring to major prescribed electives. So they can also choose electives in their 3rd and 4th year. So these will form the bulk of the program. They are all biological sciences. Thereafter, students will also need to read the ICC courses, the interdisciplinary collaborative core courses, which I mentioned earlier in one of the slides. Okay. And the last component, students will need to read the broadening and deepening electives. So these can be courses offered by our school or also from other schools within NTU. Next, the work-study degree program in laboratory medicine, which I mentioned earlier. So this is a newly launched program. So this is in partnership with the 3 health clusters in Singapore. So basically, SingHealth, National Healthcare Group, and NUHS. So what happens here is that students who are interested in this laboratory medicine program, right, they will need to read one module during their 3rd year. And after that, they will need to perform a 51-week internship, right? This 51-week internship is something like a lab rotation and training at the various hospitals in Singapore. So at the end of the program, the student will graduate with a BSc honors, right, with specialization in laboratory medicine. Now, for students who are interested in Chinese medicine, right, so as you can see on the left, it is a heavier workload of 159 academic units. Now, basically for this program, students will learn both the biological sciences component and those of the Chinese medicine component, right? And very importantly, students are required to undergo clinical internship and clinical training, and that is because at the end of the program, they will graduate and they will be certified Chinese medicine physician. So for this particular program, it is expected that students should be proficient in Chinese because some of the Chinese medicine courses are taught in Chinese. Now, for the second majors, right, the so-called distribution of the biological sciences components, the and the broadening and deepening electives are very similar to the single major. So you can see that the biological sciences and specialization component consists of the 2 green sectors over there. And then students will also need to read the ICC and followed by the BDEs. So the 6 second majors are shown over here, and just to highlight the second major in sustainability, so this is endorsed by the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, and students will get a certification from them at the end of the program. Now the double majors, which I mentioned earlier, so this is slightly heavier than the second major programs. So as you can see, for the double major program, right, for the biological or biomedical sciences component is around 42 academic units. Similarly, for the psychology or biobusiness component, it is about 42 academic units. In other words, it's equal weightage between the biological sciences or biomedical sciences component versus the psychology and the biobiz component. The rest are very similar, except that students is compulsory. They have to perform a final year project as shown on the left, the one in brown. Okay, that will be 12 academic units. Now, all students who are admitted to one of these double majors, they are eligible for the NTU Duke NUS graduate medicine pathway. So what is this pathway? So basically the NTU Duke NUS graduate medicine pathway. So students basically they will become doctors at the end of this program. Okay, so what is this? So I'll tell you more about this pathway. So first, upon acceptance to our school's double major program, right, the names of the students will be submitted to the Duke NUS Medical School, and they will select, right, from the list, and these students will be given a conditional admission offer. In other words, right, this is a conditional admission offer. Students have to, during the program stay with us, they have to sit for the admissions test. So usually students will be taking the MCAT, that means the Medical College Admissions Test, and they also need to fulfill the total CGPA requirement at SBS NTU, that means at our school. So once they fulfill these two criteria, they will be admitted to the Duke NUS Medical School, and ultimately they will become doctors. Okay, so they will embark on graduate medicine training. Okay, the next is the employment and career pathways of our graduates. So as you can see here in this chart, right, a major proportion of our graduates will be working in the healthcare or the biomedical sciences sector. And for example, many of these students will be clinical researcher, data science executive, healthcare operations executive, and so on and so forth, right? Of course, there'll be quite a handful of them will also be doing R&D, and some of them will also be pursuing PhD, and the rest are made up of those in education, public admin, and others. So as I mentioned just now, so after reading BS 2029, you will go for 51 weeks of clinical rotation at various hospitals, right? And what you're going to learn at the different so-called labs are what is being stated here. So anatomical pathology, clinical biochemistry, microbiology, and hematology. So this basically is the gist, right, of the 51-week so-called lab rotation. And these are, of course, housed under different departments like histopathology, clinical biochemistry lab, diagnostic bacteriology, hematology, and blood bank. Okay. Okay, then why should you choose the medical laboratory technologies or scientists as a career, right? Because first, 70 to 80% of all medical diagnoses are based on lab results. So I'm sure many of you are aware, right? Because every time we send in our blood samples, urine samples, and what have you, right? Someone has to analyze it, right? And doctors are highly dependent on this analysis for the diagnosis. And there's a lot of strong demand. There's a huge demand in the future because many of the hospitals in Singapore are expanding. So there will be a lot of job openings. And there will be defined and progressive career development tracks for students who embark on this career. So what I will go through here instead of listening to the video is that typically, right, if you join a hospital as a medical lab technologist, right, you will enter as the entry grade is JG11, right? The junior grade 11. So this is for the so-called standard students who are graduating with a BSc degree, right? But if you're on this work study degree program, then you will enter at a higher grade. That means the junior grade 12. And from there, you can progress onwards to either become the medical lab scientist, senior medical lab scientist, or the senior medical lab technologist. That will be the JG13, okay? Ultimately, there will be a lot of chances for career progression because very often, right, they will be sent for further training. So then it depends on individuals. Some individuals may want to do more towards the management level, some more towards the clinical, and some more towards research, and some more towards education. So this is up to individual, right? So basically, this is the so-called chart, a very brief chart to show the career progression, right? So if you join the hospital as a MLT, okay? So basically, I've summarized the important information for the work study degree program that's incorporated into our biological science single major program. Okay, so with that, so thank you all for the attention, right? Obviously, there's a lot of information which I cannot share with you now because of time constraint, but one thing for sure, I hope you can join us during our open house, which is happening this coming Saturday, right? And I'll be giving a talk there also. And then, of course, I'll be happy to talk with any one of you if you have any questions to ask.